Welcome back to Mind Over Matter. I'm Alex Ranahan. Many people think that once you reach a certain age, it's too late to start again. It's too late to change your life or chase your dreams. But what if the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? So, for example, a third of UK citizens between 45 to 54 expect to change careers before they retire. Now, today's guest, Keisha Keyz, knows what it means to start over. So after facing big changes in her life, she found the courage to follow her dreams. And her story is proof that self-belief doesn't come with an age limit. So, Keisha, thanks for joining us. I mean, where should we start? What was your professional field?
Fashion. It's always been fashion. Design, illustration, graphics. It's always been fashion. And it's just a talent that I've always had. And then I fell into the career. So, yeah, it's just been an amazing journey.
So what made you realise it was time to start again? Were there any fears or doubts that came to you?
Yes, I think last year I had an FND episode. And I think for me to start again in an industry that is run on speed and it changes so quickly, I just had the doubts. One, because of my age, and two, was I ready to go back into an industry that I had left so many years ago?
Yeah.
And that's where the doubts came from. And I literally just did the pros and cons list and just thought, just go in. You've got nothing to lose. So yeah.
Did you feel that you were judged or you were misunderstood for making a change later in life?
Yeah, big time. I had the support of family and friends, but as you know, social media, it is a monster. Yeah. And the judgment you can get from being so open about yourself on social media, you open yourself to criticism. And I'm going to be honest, I think that was like, do I care about what people say? Or do I just live my dream and make myself happy and do what makes me happy? So yeah, I think it's the best decision I ever made.
But how do you think people can find the courage to follow their dreams like you did?
For me, I had to do the pros and cons. If I've written it down and I can see it, for me, it's like, what's your excuse? And I encourage people to do that. How does your dream make you feel? How does it make you want to get up in the morning? Doing something that makes you happy is worth more than you not doing it because of other people's opinion. So that's how I found the courage to do it. That's how people can find the courage to do it.
Was there like a turning point for you, or did you find there was a different way of looking at things that helped you to find the courage to make that decision?
Oh yeah, I think when I woke up after my episode, I thought, what am I actually doing in life? Obviously I had a company. I was happy doing the company, but it wasn't like a big dream of mine. The brand wasn't my ethos, it wasn't my authenticity. It was literally just a packaged brand. And it wasn't something that I really wanted to do. And after waking up, I thought, one, I'm alive, and two, I can get to start again. And so it was almost like a second chance for me to not just heal, but also go forward and actually do what I feel I was sent on earth to do.
I guess also you're a more capable person than you were previously. You've got the experience, the skills. I've
always had like the experience and the skills. I just lacked that self-esteem that comes with being a baddie in the fashion industry. You know, my self-esteem was quite low. Obviously going through the healing, now that I'm more confident, I just feel more equipped to make the connections and go out there and show who I am without feeling that I have to apologize for my true self.
I guess it comes down to doing what's authentic to you as opposed to the previous version or what other people think.
People pleasing, I was people pleasing. I was like begging for opportunities even though I had the credentials. I just had a lack of confidence in myself.
So what does success mean to you now compared to you know, before?
Well, it doesn't mean money. I think before I was money driven, and I think my children needed certain monetary things, whereas now I really couldn't care less. I want to be happy. Happiness is the key to my success. My kids being happy, me being happy, my circle being happy. that is the ethos of happiness for me. That is success for me. Not chasing something that can literally be gone in an instant because of circumstance. My happiness stays with me, and that's my success. I'm never going to pin my worth on a business or on money or on anything ever again. And I think that was my mistake.
Have you found that you feel a different person now that you're more true to yourself?
Yeah, I just feel my world is my world, if that makes sense. I can go to bed and be happy with myself and not feel like compromised myself because I'm not my true self.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in a good place.
Did you find that there was any moment where it was almost like your body or your mind was telling you that you needed to change? Do you have any signs as you're going through life that this isn't the right path?
You do, but you ignore them because you've got, I think it's again, social media, you're chasing what everyone else is chasing. Yeah. You want to be social media famous. You want to be known for something on social media because it gives you this credibility. And I think my body was like, slow down. There was certain instances I'd have to take a break, and I'm like, no. And you know, I was on so many supplements just to keep going. And the body was like, we can't do it anymore. We're not going to do it anymore. And you're going to stop. And I had to just forcefully stop. So my brain hit the reset button, and life feels good starting from scratch. It really does.
I think there's a thing sometimes people are afraid that you've got more to lose if you start from a later age than before. But I'm guessing the position that you were in, there wasn't really any good time to make that decision. But that means that every time is a good time to start again. What would you say to people that are kind of, they go, yeah, but not for me right now? When then?
I'm going to be honest, for me, fashion industry's always been in my blood. Yeah. So it's not like I was starting from scratch with nothing. I knew how it worked, so I was kind of starting from the middle.
Yeah.
If you're going to completely change careers, start from scratch, join a group forum. You get loads of like support. Like LinkedIn have a lot of group forums, people starting from scratch, and no one is young in these forums. You meet people in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and I think people are waking up now to, I want to do what makes me happy. I don't want to do what mum and dad makes me happy. I don't want to do what society says, oh, you have to do this. I want to do what makes me happy. And I find a lot of people now, they are moving towards creative sectors. The man that wanted to be an artist that was told, oh, you have to be an engineer, is now saying, actually, I want to be an artist. And I think it's wonderful to see the creative space opening up to, I would say, academics, which is really nice. You see people from tech, you see people from, university who wanted to go down the academic route, and now they're like, actually, I've always wanted to be an artist. I've always wanted to be a designer. And I think that, for me, is like, yeah, people are starting to live their true selves. That's happiness.
Well, Keisha, there's so much amazing things about you. There's so much I wish I could ask you. If people wanted to find out more about what it is that you do, where can they find out more online?
They can find me at Keisha_Keyz with a Z 86, and that's my influencer handle. And then there's loads of clicks in the bio, and yeah, come on over. It's a great community.
Nice, awesome. Well, Keisha, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look, if you're feeling stuck or you're lost after a major life change, or you're unsure about how to start again, support is available. Now, if you look up the National Career Service, it's guidance for adults in England who want to change direction or find new opportunities. Just go to nationalcareers.service.gov.uk. Keisha, that was epic. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And that just shows us that it's never too late to start again. So I'm Alex Ranahan. Thank you so much for watching.
Welcome back to Mind Over Matter. I'm Daniela. Today we're exploring how creativity can be more than expression. It can be survival. Many people use music to soothe stress or lift their mood, but for some, music becomes a lifeline. A study published on BBC shows music has a deep effect on our mood. It often offers a safe space or simply a distraction during tough moments. Music helped our guest, Kat Button, during her mental health recovery journey. And now she's using her new album, Refocus, to help others feel understood and supported. Kat, thank you very much for being here. It's lovely to meet you. Can you start by telling us a little bit about when you realised music was helping you cope with mental health?
Oh, thank you for having me, Daniela. So music has always been a really important part of my life from a young child. And as I grew up, despite hardships and things being difficult in my childhood at points, music was my lifeline, it was my safe space. And that continued all the way through into university and then during my job as a music teacher. When I had been at university, I got a diagnosis of OCD and it was quite severe. And at that point, things seemed quite uncertain. So the therapist didn't know how things would be in the future. But me being stubborn, I was determined to get better. And I used music as a way of coping during that time. Now, for a long time, I wanted to create songs and music about my mental health journey, but it was too triggering for me. But that all changed in 2022 when I actually did a course about mental health in children and young people. And it was really amazing, Daniela, because at that point I wasn't triggered. So I studied the course and all the subjects that they talked about, I wasn't triggered at all.
What made you suddenly not be triggered? Was it the time?
I think it must have been just the time. I don't really know, but I think I needed to wait for a time where I'd kind of got used to the struggles in the past, where mentally I was in a better frame of mind to look back, reflect and move forward. And as soon as I did that course and realised that I wasn't triggered, I thought now is the time I'm going to actually write about my mental health experiences and, most importantly, my recovery journey. And I wanted to use that as a way of encouraging other people who are struggling themselves.
So you've spoken about mental health stigma. So which misunderstandings do you see more often?
Well, I think the biggest one that I see day in, day out is when people say to others, oh, I'm a little bit OCD. So a lot of people think that OCD is purely just the nature of being tidy. I mean, I'm really messy, so it definitely doesn't apply to me.
Really? See, I wouldn't have thought that. I thought OCD was getting everything in order.
It can be, but I think for a lot of people, it's just people being specific. They just like things in order, whereas in some cases of OCD, it causes great anxiety and discomfort, and then people have to perform compulsions in order to relieve their anxiety. So it is unfortunately very misunderstood, and also the type of OCD that I have is mostly intrusive thoughts, which not a lot of people really know about. So for me, I really wanted to help use my album to explain to people the different types of OCD.
So how does your music challenge stereotypes and make space for honesty?
So in the music industry, there aren't as many people as I think there could be creating music about mental health, because there is a stigma and a stereotype that people shouldn't really talk about these kind of things, whereas I completely disagree, because I think if you talk about these things, it encourages understanding, it encourages openness, it encourages people to be proud of who they are and know that they can move forward and recover and get better. And I think it's really important to have these conversations, because so many people suffer and we're not alone.
They do, don't they? Do you think it's improving though? Do you think people are talking more about this?
I think they are, because in my family there's a history of mental health, and people's understanding of mental health was very different, say 30 years ago. So I do think it has improved, but there is a long way to go.
Long way to go, yes. So your new album is called Refocus, and so what does that title mean to you?
So Refocus was the only title I had in mind for this album, because Refocus is actually the name of one of the steps in something called CBT, which is cognitive behavioural therapy. And refocus is when you focus your attention away from negative thoughts and focus on the more positive ones. And it's one of these steps in CBT. And during my album, it's very clear that there is a point in it where the refocus happens. So the album changes from the darker, negative, more hopeless feeling parts of the album to the end where it becomes more hopeful. There's a lot more happiness and determination and defiance as well.
So it's like a journey that
That's
the person
exactly
is
what
taking.
it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a concept album, and I wanted to bring the listener on the journey with me from hopeless to hopeful.
Amazing. You've talked about the journeys, but what themes run through the album?
So it's very much a musical storybook. So it starts from the beginning, when I was diagnosed with OCD in 2004, and the first track, Begging You to Go, is very much inspired by garage, R&B, hip-hop, because those genres of music were very, very popular at that point. So I wanted to get a little bit of that flavour in my track. And then track 2 is called Anxiety Strikes. Surprise, surprise, it talks about anxiety. Track 3 is called Alone with My Mind, and it talks about overthinking. Now, with people who have OCD, it's easy to overthink, but that becomes worse at night time. So it's a very eerie, calm, slightly kind of spooky, as it were, feel, because the world is quiet, but my mind isn't. And so that continues through into track 4, which is Chasing My Breakthrough, and that's about striving and hoping for a musical and medical breakthrough. So CBT, which stands for Cognitive Behavioural Therapy, is when everything changed. So it's the hopeful part of the album where I had therapy and it changed my life completely, and leading on to the rest of the album. So track 6 is called Happy Place. It's not just about it's not just about being in the happy place, it's about the journey. So I don't know about you, but if I know that I'm going somewhere really cool, so for example, if I know I'm going to dinner, for example, I'm not just going to feel happy when I'm having dinner, I'm going to feel happy on the way. So it's just documenting the feeling of euphoria on the way to that place. And then it continues. Track 7 is called Holiday from My Mind, which is basically feeling free mentally. I wrote it when I was on holiday in Norway on a roof terrace.
Norway.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it was really, really nice. And then it goes through to track 8, which is Together. And I wanted to write an anthem that celebrates reaching out to each other, because there is no shame in reaching out.
Not at all.
So if anybody is struggling, the first thing they need to do is reach out to other people.
Absolutely.
Seek professional help. So it's a bit of a electronic dance music anthem.
So talking about reaching out, if you could speak to your past self, what would you say to her?
So I think, Daniela, I would say, don't lose hope. Because when I was diagnosed with OCD in 2004, I was told that it was a very severe case and the therapist wasn't sure how things would look in the future. But me being very stubborn and determined, I was like, you know what? I'm going to show them, and I'm going to achieve something, and I'm going to make something with my life. So I would say to my younger self, Kat, you've got this. Prove people wrong. You can do it.
Thank you. If you're going through mental health challenges and need support, you can contact Mind UK. You can find them at www.mind.org.uk. They have information, helplines, online communities and local support groups across the UK. Kat, thank you so much for sharing your inspirational story today, and I'm sure it's helped many people. Thank you.
Very much.
Welcome back to Mind Over Matter. My name is Zara Palmer. Whether it's social media, compulsive eating or procrastination, these habits might seem harmless, but over time they can quietly impact our mental health. Research from King's College London found a correlation between social media, low mood and poor concentration. Our next guest, Anna Story, is a therapist and she can help people manage these everyday triggers. She'll share practical tools we can all use to stay focused and be kind to ourselves. Right, Anna, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
We've actually had a conversation before, and it's great to have
the compulsive eating. I think,
yes, we did, and it was a great show. So obviously today you're here to do something completely different. So
no, it was a similar topic, but just about eating. So now we are talking about other stuff as well.
Okay, okay. So you're here to discuss. I guess a lot of it revolves around social media.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to kind of explain to everyone exactly what kind of thing we're going to be talking about today?
Well, quite often when people scroll their social media, they start feeling bad about themselves because they start this negative internal monologue that tells you you're not good enough, you should be doing this as good as him or her, you should be looking like this or looking like that. And that kind of eats into you. So you end up feeling really bad, and you should really mend it and work on it, because that's not a good way to be.
I totally agree. I mean, I can totally understand because I'm actually in the industry. I'm an artist. I'm also an international model. So it is, the pressure seems to be on with everybody, a lot of youngsters as well, that you have to, I guess, conform to what this social media thing is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I find myself doing it going, oh, I want to change this and I want to look like that.
Yeah.
But when realistically, you know...
You can't be everything.
There's a lot of filters involved and a lot of people manipulate the pictures to look a certain way, and that's not real life.
Yeah.
So the question is, what would you suggest to people to kind of get themselves out of that mindset?
So it's more about your internal negative monologue, that when you start telling yourself, like, you should look like this, you should do this, you should have done that. You can write it down. Just get yourself a little notebook and just write everything down, how you're talking to yourself. And you might be surprised how harsh this self-talk is. Because some of my clients say, oh, I don't talk to myself badly at all. And then they start writing it down, and then they discover how bad it is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, my way of dealing with it is to look in the mirror and do a positive affirmation. You're beautiful.
That's a good way as well, yeah.
It's like, look, I mean, look, you look amazing. You know, I just kind of ask for positivity, love within myself, within humanity, the world. That's kind of how I do things. But, I mean, obviously, there's different ways to do things.
No, that's great stuff. But if something is still rotting you from inside, you know, and
so you need
kind
to
of like damaging, you want to get rid of that. It's not like you don't want to get rid of that because it's part of you, but you want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
If you have this negative self-talk, you want to kind of not get rid of it, but be aware of it and think, okay, that's what I'm doing. And the more you're aware of it, the less power it has on you.
I think you and I also had a conversation earlier about certain things are triggered from either from childhood or past traumas. Explain that to me a little bit, please.
Well, that negative self-talk would have roots in your childhood because your parents probably criticized you for something, that you should do this better or that better, or even they might have never even said anything, but you just felt that you are kind of lacking in some ways.
So it's self-worth, like feeling worthless.
Feeling worthless, exactly, So that would be this kind of inner critic, so-called inner critic, and you just have to get to know it, because otherwise, as much as you talk yourself up that you're amazing, beautiful, it still will, damage you.
Yeah,
inside.
it still lingers, it's still there. Basically, what people do is they shut it off and just keep going.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, let's pinpoint what it is.
You just have to get to know it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have any advice that you want to give to people?
Well, it's, as I said, just get to know it. Just write it down. Just listen to it. Don't try to kind of stop it or kill it or whatever. It's part of you. But just get to know it, be aware of it, and think, okay, that's what I'm telling myself. It's part of me, but it's old part of me. it's not relevant now, so now I can move on with what I have now.
So what about those people that can't really articulate themselves, maybe by writing things down? How else would you suggest
Well,
that they...
I'm sure they can, because some people can even, you know, draw. Some of my clients draw this inner critic. They make picture of it, like they say, this is my inner critic. It could be some scary picture or whatever. They give it a name.
Yeah.
And in that way, you get acquainted with it, and it's less scary. It's less it's less damaging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, I guess social media, to some people, is an addiction, isn't it? Because, I mean, I'm quite one of those people as well. I kind of scroll.
Yeah.
I'm just addicted to it.
Yeah.
How would you suggest to somebody to maybe, I guess, put the social media down and focus on other stuff?
Well, maybe just focus on how it makes you feel. If it makes you feel good, fine, keep scrolling. But if it starts making you feel bad, again, focus on maybe that's inner critic again, telling you that you're not quite as good as these people you're looking at. So then just stop and write down what you're telling yourself. Mm-hmm. And that will help you kind of make a little pause in your scrolling and get in touch with yourself, maybe. I think it's kind of when you're too involved in social media, just try to get back to yourself. Sometimes just get back in touch with what are you experiencing, not rather than looking at this picture and thinking what these people are doing, what are they wearing, how are they looking. Just think about yourself, and that will always help.
So how would you suggest somebody could find a therapist?
Yeah, well, some people, quite a lot of people struggle with that because you can go to your GP, but then you can't get free therapy most of the time, so you have very long waiting lists, or you can go private, and there are various directories. But the main thing is that you have to kind of go and see one therapist and another one, because it can't be the first match, you know, that would be perfect, because you might go meet a therapist and think, well, I don't feel really comfortable, I don't want to share with this person, I don't trust him or her. So just go see next one. It's absolutely fine.
I have to agree with you on that one, because I've been to see a therapist and I've walked in and I was like, I'm not coming back again. It made me feel worse. And I was like, no, come on.
And that's fine.
But then I did see another one.
Fine.
But then every now and then they kept changing the therapist. I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't keep seeing different people telling them my story. And it gets a bit,
so maybe it's easier to choose somebody privately. And,
I think so. I think so.
Because privately you can also negotiate all sorts of rates, and it can't be that high sometimes.
Yeah.
But at least you will be seeing somebody you trust and you want to develop a relationship.
Yeah.
Because if you keep seeing different therapists as well, then, you know, your story gets kind of in bits and you can't really tell your whole story.
Yeah.
So, that's a problem.
Okay. Why is it important to replace harsh self-talk with understanding and small changes?
Well, because harsh self-talk doesn't help you in any way to move forward. It just depletes your energy. So you have to talk to yourself positively and encourage yourself and comfort yourself. Otherwise, you just can't move forward.
Yeah. If someone wants to reset their habits, say today, where do they start? I mean, obviously we've discussed...
writing down the negative self-talk.
We've discussed that. We've done that. We've spoke about maybe talking to a doctor or a therapist. Any other ways you can think of?
Well, again, I think we touched on that, just coming back to yourself, just rather than looking at different images on social media, just thinking how do I feel in all of that? Like, what do I feel like?
Yeah.
How am I talking to myself? So that's the most important thing.
So you work with a lot of people. So how can people find you?
Well, through my TikTok and my websites, Do
you want to let people know just what that is?
Like it's on TikTok, it's A Story Therapist.
So people need advice, they can actually come to you and you can kind of help them.
Yeah, exactly. And I work online as well, so it doesn't matter where they're based.
I love that. So I think I'll be hitting you up as well, dear.
And I like short-term work as well. So
and you're based in London, or?
both in London and in Oxfordshire.
Okay, that's good
And
to know.
online, as I said, yeah.
Okay, I'm actually going to try that writing down thing. I think it could definitely work wonders. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you very much, Anna, for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
It's been great to see you again. Guys, if you think you might have a behavioural addiction, please talk to your GP for guidance. Or you can visit the NHS mental health pages at www.nhs.uk for practical steps and for support. Thank you so much, Anna, for joining us on the show. And I really appreciate you reminding us that change doesn't actually happen overnight. You know, you can just take small baby steps. Yeah. So thank you so much. This was Zara Palmer. See you on the next episode.
Welcome back to Mind Over Matter for those that have been here before. And for those that are joining us for the very first time, welcome to Mind Over Matter, the TV show that gives your mental health a voice. Today we're talking about how creativity can become a lifeline for thriving in this day and age. For many young people with dyslexia, school can be a battle. The British Dyslexia Association estimates around 10% of UK population are dyslexic, and for many the emotional toll can be just as challenging as learning difficulties themselves. Today's guest, Russell Jones, knows this very well. He was told that he wouldn't achieve much, but he turned pain into purpose, using music to express himself. So directly from X Factor, Russell Jones, thank you for being here.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Hello.
So tell me, what was it like growing up, knowing, did you know that you had dyslexia, or was it?
No, I felt that, you know, I was a little bit different from the other kids, you know, and it wasn't something that, I just wanted to be like everyone else. I literally did. I didn't want to be like outnumbered or, you know, the thick kid, basically. I just want to be just like everyone else, really.
Okay. And how would you say that affected your time in your life?
Yeah, just felt so low. You know, I thought that just wanted to be like every other child, you know, and going through something like that was something that, just felt like I was a no one. Didn't feel like I could achieve anything in my life. And my self-esteem was very low as well. I didn't really, and I left school literally not knowing even how to tell the time, which was, you know.
Okay, that's interesting. So, moving forward, what are the changes that you made so that you could deal with dyslexia?
I wanted to just make a difference to other people that were going through it. That was leaving school. I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a difference to people that are going through it. I don't want people going through what I went through. Yeah. I want to change the curriculum of the school system. I want people to teachers to know about dyslexia instead of just brushing it to one side and focusing on the academic kids. Making, you know, having more of a knowledge of it. That's what I think that the school system needs, and this is where music comes into it. This is why music expresses myself. It makes me feel on top of the world and just want to make a difference to others.
Okay, so how do you give that message to people that are possibly going through and feeling the same sort of pain that you went through?
Because with dyslexia, it's not something that you can see, but it's something that when someone sees you on the street, they don't go, "That person's got dyslexia." Yeah. But the message I want to give is that if you have a special need or a disability, that you can achieve anything with anything you do in life. You shouldn't never let anything hold you back. Yeah. You should do what you believe in doing and what makes you feel happy, and never be told you can't achieve anything in life. Okay,
yeah, that kind of leads into my next question. What's one powerful message that you can give people struggling and feeling left behind or left out? What message could you give them today?
Just do something that you absolutely love with your life, even if people say that, you know, you won't achieve anything. As long as it puts a smile on your face, it makes you feel good, then you feel that you've done something good, and it makes you feel like you're on top of the world. Like when I'm singing to people, it makes me feel amazing, and I can make a difference.
That's lovely. That's so lovely to hear. I hope I can get a little sample of your beautiful tones.
I'll even have to put, what's your name anyway?
I'm Denny.
Denny?
Yeah.
I'm going to put you in the song. Do a little song, Denny.
Oh, I'm excited for that. So, moving forward, I must say, before we go on, your outfit is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you very much.
I love it. Very, very dapper.
Thank you.
So what genre are you into?
So I'm a big fan of the Sinatra and the Nat King Cole and all those 40s, 50s, and you know, I just love style. Yeah. I like to leave the house and look good, and people to go, I wouldn't mind dressing like that.
That's wonderful.
But Denny, you got style as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I got this in Japan. Also in Japan.
Very nice. Very.
So I got this. Yes. So thank you for that. So, what are your hopes for the future as an artist? For my message of music is just to spread love, joy, and happiness, and people that are going through a disability, to do anything you love doing, make you feel good. I just want to make everyone put a smile on people's faces, bring joy and happiness. Oh, that's so wonderful. That's a lovely
and with the music I do, keep it current and keep it out there, because I just love that music. And yeah.
So just another question. Like, I know you have some projects coming up. Can you tell us what's happening next? What can we expect?
So the next big season around the corner is Christmas. So I'm doing a Christmas tour of the UK.
Oh, wonderful.
London, Southampton, all over, Wales, Somerset, and we're just going up and down the UK, entertaining people, putting smiles on people's faces and making people feel good.
Oh, okay. So do you have a website, Russell, where people can find you, social media? How can we, get people to follow you?
So Instagram, Russell Jones Jr. 96.
Okay, Russell Jones Jr. 96.
And then Facebook, Russell Jones Jr.
Okay.
And the same with TikTok, Russell Jones Jr.
Okay, lovely. That's wonderful that we can do that. Just like to say to everybody that we're going to just have a little example of the wonderful tones that we have, that Russell has here. So can you give us a little example of something that you do?
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. Denny, you're such a delight. It's lovely to meet you today. It's lovely to be on Mind Over Matter too.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, thank you so much. That was beautiful, beautiful. And I do love that Nat King Cole song, actually. So, thank you for choosing that. If you think you might be dyslexic or want to know more about support and diagnosis, visit the British Dyslexia Association, www.bdadyslexia, all one word, .org.uk. They offer guidance for children, adults and families. Thank you, Russell, for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your journey and letting us know that our differences can become our strength. Thank you so much. I'm Denny Miller. See you next time.
Well, today I can assure you it's not a dull day. We've got two very colourful characters on our couch, the wonderful and glorious Ali Palais and James. Thank you so much.
Ali Palais? Alexandra Palace, listen.
Well, darling, there's more drama in that than you.
I was going to say, I know a lot of men have played in me, but I'm not Ali Palais. You mean Al Palais, Lanah Palais.
Oh, darling, you say it with such style and sophistication, dear.
Oh, well, that makes a change.
But tell us about your journey, your story. I mean, you've got the most colourful life.
Yeah, well, where I started it, Well, I started in show business around all the working men's pubs and clubs of the north, you know, doing all the chicken in the basket circuits and doing impressions early on as a young drag queen, which I'm not now, by the way. And yeah, you know, I started, you know, doing all the impressions of Eartha Kitt, good times and bum times. I've seen them all, and my dear, I'm still here. And Dame Shirley Bassey and Cleo Lane, feelings, nothing but the feelings, you know. And Tina, all the men come in this places. So I, you know, started with that, got a name on the working men's pubs and clubs, and then I found punk, Marquis Smith of the Fall. And so I went over to punk and got my own band together called the Ice Cream Pleasures. And then I moved to, after I'd come out of the kids' home at 17, I moved to Manchester, found a £9 a week bedsit in Manchester, and I was in Manchester for about 2 or 3 years. And then on the day Mae West passed away, and she had one of these couches, you know, a sectional. And so I moved down to London, ended up in a squat in Clapton Pond. And then I met Peter Richardson and Keith Allen, who got me into the comic strip. Keith Allen, Lily's dad. I used to hold Lily Allen when she was a little baby. And I got into the comic strip, and they started writing. You know, I started working with them, writing parts for me in the comic strip, and working with Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders and Robbie Coltrane and Rick Mail and all the young ones.
And, you know, I mean, you've got this incredible, colourful history and past. But, you know, you're in the North. There was a certain time when it was quite tough. I mean, this was probably before sort of Arthur Scargill days. You know, Northerners were hard, and to be, doing a drag queen. But, you know, times were really tough then. You know, it was a mining community. To be in that whole LGBT community, I mean, that was tough.
Well, you know, I mean, the thing is, let's say my multiple marginalisation and, or zations, plural, and intersections were not ignored, you know, but, you know, mud was flung, and I used to sling more mud back, you know. I mean, it was very bittersweet upbringing in the 70s, you know, if you know, had a limp wrist, but then I always had an iron fist behind my limp wrist, you know. That. I mean, you know, I was, you know, take the girl out of Grimsby, you can't take it out of anywhere else, you know. You know, it was a very, I mean, you know, people go on about oppression these days, that, you know, it's like, they should have lived in my day, you know. So it was a very tough, let's say, journey, process. But I mean, the thing is, I think adversity introduces a person to themselves, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
and also what sometimes happens is, I don't know in your situation, but you can sometimes have a mentor in life. You know, did you have someone that was actually, do you know what, am I doing the right thing? Am I going in the right direction? I just need a shoulder to cry on. Did you have that type of backbone?
Well, I think anybody who treads a very rocky path in life treads a very spiritual one. And I think that, I always say that life is haunted. And I think that there are guardian angels on every, you know, corner, and you know, when the student is ready, the teacher, the guardian will appear. So I've always had an inner faith, not necessarily religious or monotheistic, even though I was born into Christianity and loved all the songs and hymns. You know, I was a choir boy at one time. And
you've just scarred me beautifully with this image in my mind at the moment. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad. I'm picturing it.
You know, I was the only one in a nun's outfit. And you know, I mean, you know, Princess Margaret visited Grimsby once, and everybody was lucky. We were all lined up on the streets, and everyone was pointing at me. But then, I was the only 7-year-old dressed up as Eartha Kitt, but what do you expect?
But you must have had some wonderful career highs. I mean, what were your top highlights?
Oh, well, I had a big hit with Stock Aitken and Waterman in the 80s with a big Eurobeat #1 dance floor hit called I Got a Pistol in My Pocket, Baby. And then I had another hit with when I regaled the nation with the couplet Let the Carnival Begin, Every Pleasure, Every Sin on the Bristol Funkster Gary Clayle Human Nature On You soundtrack, on Top of the Pops 3 times. So that was great. I've had loads of, there's been loads of pleasurable privileges.
But the world needs more of you, my darling. And I know for my Christmas tree, I want you as my top bauble right up.
Oh, thank you. Oh, well, I'm always happy to be someone's top bauble.
And talking of top baubles, we have the wonderful James.
I'm going to second that as well. I need a bit of that as well. I mean,
But James, I was chatting to you. You have the most extraordinary journey in what you do, because I'm a diver, I'm an open water swimmer. Share with us this incredible job that you do. I found this fascinating.
Thank you for having me, by the way. It's I haven't quite been on Top of the Pops or anything like that, but it's been an interesting journey, and it's coming through. It's something you said as well about my analogy of that is a calm sea never made a good sailor, and sometimes there is no wrong and there is no rights. The things you go through are just what makes you, and when we can accept that and let go of the things we thought or we believed or whatever, and we can just know that where we are is exactly where we're supposed to be, and I think that's where I am. I know that's where I am, and being a breathwork and wellness coach, and sounds like, oh, what is that? And, what does that actually mean? But it's basically getting us to manage our nervous system and our emotional regulation through, first of all, our breathing, then through our mindset. It's very difficult to calm our nervous system down, or or get our energy from up here and our, vibration like that to a calm setting when we're over-breathing, when we're breathing too much, too many times. So my thing is get our breathing correct, get us nice and calm in that way, and then make decisions from there. And I think once we can do that, we can be the most powerful beings that we could ever think about.
Now, obviously, we're a show, we're talking about mental well-being. What advice could you give to anyone who's out there who's probably watching this to maybe go down your road or go down this form of therapy? I mean, what advice can you, or where do they even go about finding this?
So, first of all, I've personally never been to therapy in my life. I've never done any form of therapy. But what I have done is constantly question myself and my intentions in life. And I made small incremental changes every day. I used to hate myself when I was young. And the way I came back from that is to, again, cut out the things that weren't nourishing me. Because I think that's one of the big problems as human beings. We think we want to think better, but we don't act in the way that we want to. So we have this idea of ourselves, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be that, but then we're not showing up for ourselves. So my thing is show up for yourself on a micro, minute by minute level in the day, and you will slowly start to change the version of what you were to the version of what you know your capability is. And then you will respect yourself, you'll start to create a better reality inside your body, and then we'll create that outside as well around us. And me personally, I run retreats, I run wellness events, and I do one-on-one coaching and group coaching and corporates, and I've had a retreat company called Unguarded Warrior for 6 years now, and we get groups of people together and we do amazing things like group exercise. We get outside, we're a bit primal, and we get in cold water and we chop logs and we light fires and we
sounds all very terribly butch to me.
but we also
sign up?
I'd be taking me out Winnebago.
But what we also do is do ecstatic dance, and we do workshops where we look at our feminine, we look at our we really try and be a rounded you know, group where we just don't look at this, you know, it's like you don't, I always talk about using the right tool for the right job. You don't use a sledgehammer to you know, to crack an egg, you know. So my thing is use the right tool for the right job. So use love where love needs to be, use anger when you need anger, use empathy when, you know, and use discernment. So, discernment, sorry, not discernment. So using the correct, you know, mindset in the right way. And I never used to, mine was just anger, and it got me in a lot of trouble. But it was the right thing to get me where I am now. So I'm grateful for it.
And it's never looking back, right? You know, it's
well,
that was the past, that was your history, but you know what, I'm growing to this new person.
Do you know what I do look back, but I look back and I go, it was just exactly what it needed to be, because I can't change it. My thing is, don't hold on to our stories, don't hold on to our past, good and bad. Because if we're holding on to that 18-year-old version of us that was like ripped or this amazing thing, or like, you know, we're like, oh, I wish I could get back to that. We'll never be a version of what we were. We can only be a better version because we're more open-minded, loving, kind, generous, vulnerable, flawed, whatever it is. So just be the slightly better version of yourself. Show up for oneself every day, and every reality that you will see will improve. That's my kind of real takeaway from that.
Wow. Do you know, I have to say, just I pick up on this energy, this positive vibe. It really is uplifting. And I'm sitting here next to you going, that's it, I'm going to conquer the world. But, you know, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out there who have learnt a lot from you and been inspired for you. So, firstly, thank you both for taking the time.
Thank you.
You really are a blessing to people out there who are watching this and an inspiration. So I thank you both. So
Thank you.
On behalf of Mind Over Matter, I thank you.
Snow is all around, down where the street lights glow. On this beautiful winter's evening, I think of you, the life we knew, and my soul is soaring back to you. Winter burning in my heart, winter of love, shining like a star. Kiss the ghosts of Christmas past, touch my soul and make it last. Love as big as Mama Cass. Snow is all around, warm embers glow. On this beautiful winter's evening, I shed a tear, I wish you were here. Winter of love, burning in my winter of love, shining like a star. We were lovers, we were friends, no beginning and no end. Space and time we will transcend. Snow is falling all around, but I don't feel the Now you're by my side, the future's bright, shining through this silent night. Winter of love, burning in my heart. Winter of love, shining like a star. Winter of love, energy never dies. Burning in my heart. We are all made of stardust. Love never dies. Love shining like a star. Love never dies.